I should get some kind of royalty for this, but for my Purdy's.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but yeah,
that's all you need.
Yeah, you know, it's all good though. It's all good. So yeah, let's do this. It's been a while. I mean, I've been kind of starving for b-ball activity. I don't know about you. I mean, there's been some stuff.
It's been too long. Like a couple of 1-2 trades that no one quite saw coming. One thing you'd think the league would have vetoed, but you know, no, I'm looking forward to it. Well, it's only like 50 days, less than 50 days until the season kicks off. So tips off. But yeah, it's going to be a good season. Maybe we may not see LeBron in the finals. Like, that's a possibility.
So yeah, okay.
I mean, we'll save that for another time, but
yeah, I think we'll probably get into that a bit more, you know, as we do, you know, the Eastern Conference and get in depth. But yeah, that's an interesting prospect.
Now
considering he's been there for like the last 100 years. So,
man, he is the king. He's allowed to.
No doubt. But yeah, just over this whole off season, I mean, aside from NBA, obviously we've had the whole. Did you watch the Big Three?
I watched some of the Big Three, some of the highlight stuff. I saw Rashard Lewis got MVP. Like, yeah, I mean, Stephen Jackson didn't stay on the floor long enough, so it was going to be the other guy who was most recently in the league. So, it ain't going to be Mike Bibby because he's not going to get points on putbacks. So,
no doubt.
And no one really took advantage of that 4-point shot. And White Chocolate went down in the first or second game with an injury.
Yeah.
I wasn't tuning in to watch him play. And AI was all right, but he's past it. He's an old man, so he was a warrior in the league, and he's still carrying all those injuries. So, I mean, I'm glad it exists. I hear they're getting sued, but like for $250 million. But I don't know
that's a bit crazy.
Yeah, they can afford it.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, we've had that. I mean, we've had a little bit of FIBA stuff as well. Like, we've got FIBA stuff going on now. We've got Eurobasket and whatnot.
Eurobasket, seeing Kristaps dunking on people. I mean, and there's some America's Cup thing going on at the moment as well. And the States won that yesterday. With like, not even the B team, like the C or D team, like the shit Plumlee brother is their starting center. So they might as well be the Duke Blue Devils just going out to play. So
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I watched some of the American Cup. It's all right. Some of the teams are okay, but you knew what was going to happen in the end, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Argentinians aren't going to show up for anything but the Olympics. After that, there isn't really anyone that south of the border that's going to trouble the States. So I don't know about Canada. They've got actually quite a decent crop of players, but again, I don't really think they care about the America's Cup so much. So we've got to wait until the season kicks off to see Wiggins, Olynyk, Tyler, is it Ulis or Ellis, whichever one of them, all the Canadians. In a couple of years in the next Olympics could be sneaky good. I don't know. They feel the legitimate NBA team. So not an all-star team, but good enough to trouble people.
Yeah, I hear that. But yeah, NBA is what it's really all about right now as we kind of count down. I know a lot of people are waiting for that. I mean, I like to watch a lot of different competitions, really, but we are counting down to the NBA. Let's not, beat around the bush.
No, the standard of play is just on a different level. So, I mean, that's the stuff that's going to get you excited. It's good to see like EuroLeague and especially the Spanish teams, but I mean, it is really just Real Madrid and Barcelona that are going to throw up a highlight every now and then. It's just like a different plane. I mean, I'm looking forward to the exhibition.
Yeah, well, to be fair, you got some of the other teams like Olympiacos and whatnot.
Olympiacos is the other one, and one of the other like 2 or 3 Turkish teams.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like the EuroLeague, but yeah, what we're here for, NBA. The off season's been kind of interesting because it's been like an off-on season in a sense. I mean, I don't really remember there being a time where the cycle from, say, the playoffs to this point now, where we're counting down, what's that, 5 weeks we got now?
Yeah, it's about 5 weeks.
During this whole time, there's been all sorts of NBA stuff going on.
So much.
It's been
Loads of it.
And also, interesting.
It's where you see there's so much great footage coming out now on Twitter, on Instagram, and all that of players doing their off-season training and hooping together. Like
Hoodie Mellow, yeah. Hoodie Mellow. I support my hoodie for this. Hoodie Mellow is fire.
Hoodie Mellow they should make jerseys just for the hood for him to play in.
I mean, it's like some mad alter ego. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man, like Spider-Man and Venom, and you know what I mean? Hoodie Mellow is fire. I want to see what he does. Hopefully, I actually hope he comes into this season really motivated. Maybe now Phil's gone and stuff, but we'll see.
Well, that's the thing. Mellow is the one piece that people say would have moved by now hasn't. And
yeah,
you know, it's still in the air that he could go to Houston. I don't know what can they give up to get him, or because they traded everything to get Chris Paul, so which is fair. Like Chris Paul is that good of a player, but I remember a few years ago when the Knicks traded what was essentially a starting lineup with Carmelo and Chauncey Billups, and the Nuggets have since that time been just the better team, and now obviously in an even better position than the Knicks.
They are definitely now. But yeah, talk about major trades for the off season. Definitely Chris Paul. When that came, I was real surprised in terms of. I was surprised at where he went. I wasn't surprised that he went with the Clippers. I was surprised at where he went. I didn't see that coming.
Surprised. I thought if the Clippers were going to trade someone, it would have been Blake. And I thought he was going to go to the Celtics and then going to get back like Bradley and Smart and Jaylen Brown, and then then the Clippers would have been set up for a good long while with some really talented young players. I mean, admittedly, if you aren't the Clippers, if you're any team in the Western Conference, the only thing you can try to do is match the Warriors. So, like, you got to wonder whether this Clippers lineup with they got. There was like 7 or 8 people involved for Chris Paul, like Chris Paul and some dude I've never heard of, for Patrick Beverley, Sam Decker, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, and maybe like 2 other people I never heard of, and then a pick. Now, none of it. Here's the thing: apart from Beverley, none of those guys are starters. None of those guys are a difference maker. So, I mean, here's the thing: the Rockets may have given up a lot, but it's not like they mortgaged their future, because they've still got James Harden, who's still on the right side of 30, super talented. And yeah, I would have made that trade in a heartbeat. Yeah, is it Daryl Morey? He should win every executive award possible. Orchestrating.
Well, no, but you know what? Thinking about it, as you go back over the trade now, definitely I would have traded for Chris Paul, but they did give up a little bit. I mean, Sam Decker, he's a prospect. You know?
His Sam Decker for me is his ceiling is Danilo Gallinari.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Good player. Great all-star on a good night.
Yeah, obviously they're different type of players, but I know what you mean though. Like in terms of his level.
Yeah, like Paul White with a weird haircut. Yeah.
But yeah, I gave up Patrick Beverley. He's a good player, solid player.
Good player. But I heard that Beverley wants to go anyway.
Apparently. So yeah.
Right.
That's what they said afterwards, isn't it? But
yeah, I wanted this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of one of them ones. You know, like once somebody don't want you anymore, you're like, I wasn't interested anyway, you know, type of thing. But they got Lou Williams as well. I mean,
Lou Williams,
he's not young.
Great bench player.
Yeah.
Like, he was really good with the Lakers, and he could have been the 6th man. This is the stupid thing. The Rockets, they didn't need him because they've got Eric Gordon, who does the exact same thing. But is a little bit bigger and can maybe play a little bit better defense on like Clay and switch on to Steph, because that's who you're trying to beat. You know, you can't. That's all the Western Conference. If you want to win, all you have to do is try and match the Warriors. But well, they've still got Ariza, or has he moved?
No, I think they've still got Trevor Ariza. I'm not sure if they've locked him up yet, though.
Yeah, this thing is fine. Chris Paul can guard Steph. Harden can try and guard Clay. You know, if they run switches on top, who cares? I don't know about down low, but who's guarding KD? Like Trevor Ariza could maybe do it, but a motivated LeBron James could stop KD in the finals. So, you know,
I think Houston overall, without getting fully into them, I think they did all right actually.
They did really well. They should be second seed. They should even knock up the second seed. And people argue that maybe there's only one basketball on the floor anytime. So who are you going to give to Chris or James Harden? They'll figure it out. Chris Paul is that good. They will figure it out. They can just run pick and roll on either side. And a good coach, and Mike D'Antoni, as much as he's a terrible defensive coach, knows how to run a high-powered offense. And he's got two of the best ever running his offense for him. And, you know, take one guy out 6 minutes into the first quarter, let the other guy play. And, then, you know, you will always have one of them on the floor, which is ridiculous. To have the point guard, and could have been MVP the last 2 seasons. You know,
yeah.
Even if, I mean, neither of them have made it really far into the playoffs. I know Harden made it to the finals where he choked playing it for Heat in 2011. So I mean, we'll see how it works out. D'Antoni has also never really done much in the playoffs. The argument of the game slows down. How I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think the Rockets will be sneaky good because I mean, like they could be a real decent challenger now that they have Chris Paul. At the same time, is it better than the Warriors? And is it better than the Spurs? And they made like a sneaky good signing. They got Rudy Gay for no money, basically.
It's not better than the Warriors, I'll tell you that. Definitely not better than the Warriors. Spurs, I don't know about them Spurs, man. But yeah,
they should have traded LaMarcus. They should have got rid of him.
Oh my days, LaMarcus is something else. Yeah. Go get rid of that. He's looking.
People on the high on the Marcus because he's got a feathery jump shot. It's his. I remember that I don't know who it was, but it might have been Shaq talking his usual shit about being the most dominant player ever. And like a big man needs 2 moves, like a hook shot and a drop step, and that's it. LaMarcus Aldridge's go-to move is a fadeaway over his right shoulder, and that is the sign of a coward. Like, the 7 foot tall, get in the paint.
I know exactly.
You know,
you don't want it.
Wrong, but
you don't want to know. He don't want no parts of that. He don't want no parts of that. That whole under the rim in the paint. He don't want no parts of that.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever averaged 10 rebounds, but I mean, he's not going to. He's not going to play those sorts of minutes for the Spurs. But he should be. He isn't the second best player on the team. He should be like the 3rd best player. He could be Chris Bosh on a good day. And like Chris Bosh for the Heat on a good day, if you could stretch out a little bit further to the 3, but he's not as mobile either, so he can't really guard out on the wing. But that said, you've got Kawhi, you're always quite safe, and maybe signing Rudy Gay gives you a little bit more flexibility to push Kawhi down to the 4, maybe even to the 5. He's got that sort of talent, especially if the Warriors roll out Draymond at the center. So yeah, Kawhi could guard him. But yeah, I mean, looking out west, the other big move is Paul George for Paul George for change.
Paul George. Listen, Paul George is legit. Paul George is legit.
He is great. He's not as good as he was before the injury. He's going to make a comeback. He doesn't have to carry the team anymore. I would have made that trade in a heartbeat. I like Victor Oladipo a lot. I think he's like watching him like off the court stuff. He seems like a really stellar dude, and he's going back to the place where he played college ball. So maybe he'll be super motivated and be like, really enjoy himself and not have to defer to Russ. But obviously, like he'll be expected to try and score a lot more, which would be good for his. It'd be really good for him. And Sabonis, I liked him. He was like, decent rookie.
Yeah, but it's Paul George.
He's not blue chip. Like, I wouldn't have like I don't know what Larry Bird was thinking on that one. He could have got better. But
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. But I think it's more of a case that he knew PG-13 was out of there, so he just
yeah. The thing is, you've got to wonder whether OKC has just got a rental and whether they lose Paul George next season and Russell next season or the season after, and they all go to LA and have a good time. They could. It could be that easy.
Yeah. I think mostly that's going to come down to literally what happens. They're just going to try it out. They're going to get on the court. They're going to go through the season and just assess it from there. Like, okay, do I like this? Are we playing well? Am I enjoying the situation? Are we winning any? And if they are, I think there's a slight potential that they could just stay where they're at. But
or out of the first round, yeah. They need to make top 4.
But hey, talking about that, haven't you heard that they're actually like a little sneaky dark horse to get Melo?
No. What's Melo going to do on that team? Melo doesn't want to play the 4. Paul George has said he doesn't want to play the 4 to Larry Bird. So, I wouldn't do that. Also, who else are they going to give up? I don't know. Melo's either staying put or he's going to the Rockets.
Mm.
Yeah. But speaking of Paul George, there's a couple of. He's one of the best small forwards in the league. I mean, you think of KD's better, LeBron's better. I would dare say that Jimmy Butler's better. Just, more points, rebounds, and assists. Younger, not such a bad injury history. I think he's younger. They're about the same. Both about to hit their prime. And Jimmy,
he's a top 5. He's a top 5 small forward.
Top 5 small forward. Should be an all-star. If he's not an all-star, he should be disappointed in himself because it's going to affect his contract money as well. But Jimmy going to the Timberwolves, that I'm excited about. And again, that was I don't know.
That was a sneaky move. But at the same time, I kind of saw that coming in a sense. The timing kind of just threw me like, oh, you did that just like that. But I saw that coming because, I saw that coming from a while out. As soon as I saw Coach Tibbs go there, I thought, all right, he's coming for his guy. Eventually, he's coming for his guy.
Well, Tibbs went and got Jimmy Butler for a guy with an ACL tear whose entire career is going to be predicated on being athletic. And Chris Dunn, who I really like, but he's an old. He still obviously he did like 3 or 4 years at college, so he's not a young player. He might be almost near what he's going to be for the rest of his career already. A good defensive player, but not a shooter. Good passer, but you're just going to get what you got from Ray or Rondo last year. Who knows? But Chicago's tanking. They don't care. They're not in the playoff hunt. They drafted Laurie something.
Yeah, Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
He was just playing in the Eurobasket actually.
Oh yeah. Oh, because he's what? Yeah. He's not Austrian, is he? No, he's something else. But I watched some footage of him. He can shoot. He can dribble. He can do handoffs. He cannot defend. And he cannot rebound. And he's 7 foot tall. Like he could be like a weak Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez without a post-up game. Like that could be, which is what? It's not. That's a lot of players. It's fine. They got him for cheap, but they burned the pick. So you could have got other stuff.
Chicago is nothing, but that was a big trade. Definitely Jimmy Butler trade, Paul George trade,
CP,
obviously CP3.
I think Brook Lopez to the Lakers was a sneaky, interesting trade because I quite like D'Angelo Russell's game, and then going to Brooklyn and obviously having to get rid of that weird situation where he was obviously not trusted by his teammates in LA. And he might not be trusted in Brooklyn either, for all we know, but at least it's a different situation. And he can still go out with the ball. And he was good. He had great stats, like some of the best stats for a rookie and a sophomore ever. That's forgotten because they didn't win games, but a lot of rookies didn't win games. So throughout the NBA's history. So that's all right.
I think the Brooklyn move would actually be good for him. I think the Brooklyn move would be good for him.
I think it'll be nice, but it's what it means for LA in the long term that matters. Because they shed the Luol Deng's contract, they can sign 2 superstars next year to play, and they have to drop Luol Deng's, Deng's and Randall's contract probably as well to sign LeBron and George, or LeBron and Russell, or I mean they won't want to get. Well, they get Russell, he can play as natural 2 guard. Have Lonzo throwing lobs, Brandon Ingram running the floor, like. But that's a year away. That's 2 years away. I'm looking forward to watching Lonzo Ball play because I mean I had a lot of fun sniping at his messed up jump shot. But that's the sort of jump shot that on 2K is going to get him blocked all the time. Like Eric Gordon's jump shot, it's all like pops out like that, easy block, like 5 blocks a game when you play his team on 2K. But
yeah, the way he winds it up, sort of thing.
Yeah, but it also means like. Speaking as a coach, it means he can't dribble right and pull up because he has to turn his body all the way around and then hook it back to his shoulder. He can go left, he's all right, but going right, he's going to go to the hole. But you'd think, but he's a skinny kid, so I don't know how much weight he can put on. Maybe he doesn't have to. He's going to be a facilitator. Matthew Johnson was never the biggest. Well, he was tall, but he was never super strong. Like, and that's the mold he wants to play in. I'm happy the Lakers got that guy.
Yeah.
Got rid of D'Angelo because that means they're going to be in contention for the best players next season. But the other team with the top picks and the other really interesting trades that happened, the Celtics, and like before we get to Kyrie, dropping the number 1 pick to get the number 3 and some impossibly complicated pick that's to do with next year that involves the Lakers and the Kings. I've no idea how it means. I think it's if the Sixers suck, the Celtics get the Sixers pick, or they get the Sacramento pick if they play worse. But the Sacramento pick might be somehow involved with Boogie in New Orleans. I don't know. I mean, basically they just traded one of the 3 straight up, and Jason Tatum looked good. He looked really good. The thing about Summer League, you don't know if a player if that's going to translate. Summer League just shows who cannot play at all, not who's going to be worthwhile having on your squad. But he's in a really good situation. He learn from good people, and no one on that team does what he does. So, well, apart from Kyrie's going to take all the last shots. But on Kyrie, that trade, that came out of nowhere. And he went and said in his press conference, this wasn't about basketball. But well, what was it about? You're a basketball player, mate. Of course it's about basketball.
Yeah. I don't know, boy. I don't know what it's about, but I think it's a good look for him, though.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. He and Hayward have got a good relationship. He's undisputedly the best offensive player on that team. So he's not going to be Robin. He's not, he's going to be Batman. I would argue that even if LeBron was the best player on the planet the last couple of seasons overall, Kyrie was still pretty much just Batman 2. Right.
Batman Part 2, yeah.
Yeah, but you argue maybe he wants to go and cement his legacy. He's got that sort of Mamba mentality where he doesn't want to play in LeBron's shadow. And you can understand that, but...
No, I can understand that.
Let LeBron leave.
No, because the thing is, with that whole situation, I think it can be difficult. Bearing in mind that he was there, he thought he was going to be, so-called Batman or whatnot. Yeah. He was going to be the guy. His whole style of play is kind of predicated on, him doing his thing, having the ball, and then LeBron just comes back, and then all of a sudden it's just the LeBron show, which isn't a knock on LeBron. He can't do anything about it, but
no, I can imagine anything about those 7 NBA Finals trips. Like,
listen, man, don't start hating on Raymond, yeah. No, but seriously, I mean, there's a certain amount of just noise that follows anybody at that level, and I could imagine Kyrie, from what I see of him and his personality, he's just not about that. He's just like, listen, man, I just want to be quiet. I just want to go back home, be with my family. I want to ponder on how the earth is flat, and you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature.
flat as shit, that Pierre. Yeah. But
You know what I mean?
I think, yeah, he's in a good situation. He's got a much better coach than Tyronn Lue. Brad Stevens could be the best young coach in the NBA.
That too.
I mean, talk about the other coaches. I really like Dave Yeager. Eric Spoelstra is still young, but Brad Stevens is probably going to be better than all of them. He's got that sort of Rick Carlisle gene to him, where he could probably take any team and make them good. Like, give him a good player and 10 other moving parts, and you've got yourself a playoff team. Like Rick Carlisle's done with like Dirk Nowitzki and some duct tape, like to make them competitive at least. But I mean, who do you think the Celtics? The saying is, isn't it, that whoever gets the best player wins the trade? Do you think the Celtics won that trade?
Okay. Did the Celtics win the Kyrie?
You got like on all levels, like there's like money involved in future contract situations with other players, and
you mean like, okay, you mean in totality, like looking at the entire off season against this trade? Yeah, is that what you mean? Yeah.
They won the offseason. I mean, here's the thing: is I think Cleveland got the better of Boston. I think Danny Ainge was anxious to move some pieces.
Yeah.
And I think the parts Cleveland got back are better than the parts than Kyrie.
No, I agree with that. This is why I wanted to be clear on what you were asking, because I think if you view it in isolation, the individual trade, just the trade, I have to say, I don't think it's by miles and miles and miles, but I think Cleveland actually got the better deal. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And considering the circumstance as well, because Kyrie had to go as well. So when you bear you bear all of that in mind, what they got back. I mean, we know there's issues with IT and his hip and stuff, but if we're just simply looking at the players and what they've got on display, Jay Crowder, and then they've got this future pick as well, they're nice. I think they've done very well. But I think if I'm looking at Boston, which obviously we'll do in more depth in our next chat, but if I'm looking at Boston overall, I do think they've weakened themselves considerably. But when I look at sort of the top end of what they've done, I actually like what they look like. I like that. You know,
they've got a good roster. They've got good young players. They need to think beyond this season, because they may not beat Cleveland. They may not get out of the East. They could lose to the Wizards. It's not inconceivable. They could lose a season. They could lose a series in the playoffs to the Raptors. It's not inconceivable. But if LeBron bolts next year and goes to the West, goes to LA, well, then they're automatically the best team. And they have what? I mean, I don't like that. I really like IT's game. And maybe the hip injury had something part to play in moving him. The bigger point, I think, for it was they didn't want to pay him next year. Like IT wants max money. Yeah. He's 28, 5'9", with a hip injury. Like he probably would leave. IT seems like the kind of guy who he's not going to get full-time respect as one of the best little guys in the NBA unless he gets a max contract. I don't think he's a greedy dude, but I think he will next season go sign with whatever team gives him the most money, wherever that is. Like it could be Cleveland. They'll have spare cash.
Yeah, he does like to hang out with Mayweather a lot as well.
Yeah, Mayweather just hand out some. Like Mayweather made like 150 mil off a fight against an Irish bloke. So, but Isaiah, I really like Isaiah's game. There was a wonderful video. I don't even know. On YouTube, there's a guy called he does B-ball breakdown. He did a video a few years ago about Isaiah Thomas, who was the 60th pick in the same draft that Kyrie was the first. Isaiah Thomas is a better player than Kyrie. And you know what? They do a lot of the same things. And Kyrie's clutch, 5'9", but he gets to the hole. He's got little hook shots and floaters and all kinds. Being a lefty helps him, I think. Confuse people. People train all their life trying to guard themselves. You've got 90% of people are right-handed, so they prepare all their life to send a guy to the left, and it's his strong hand. But if he's got an injury, then yeah, Danny Ainge made the right move. Losing Crowder, that's that's a shame because he's a really talented player and he seems like a good dude. And when I heard that this trade went down, I immediately posted on Facebook that clip of J.R. Smith elbowing him in the head. But J.R. went down and ended up tearing something in his knee and missing the rest of the playoffs. So I don't know if there's still bad blood there, but they better sort it out. JR's a starting two guard. But Cavs. So I don't like losing Crowder, but then you've got Tatum and Brown as backup, and you hope they blossom. Well, then there's the Nets pick, and that's the
thing is though, yeah, the Nets pick is the icing. We don't know what Zizic is really going to be, but it's okay. It's something to have. You know, he's a big and whatnot.
He's going to be like fourth. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing with Crowder though is that it's not even just skilled. Like, he's skilled. He can shoot the three. I mean, even in the playoffs, he was hitting some shots. I was like, oh my days, like, this guy. But the thing is, it's not just that. He can and will turn up, but it's his toughness.
Yeah, he's pure heart. He's hustle personified. He's got like all the same energy as Kenneth Faried in the body of, like, he's got, if Joe Johnson ever wanted to play defense, he's got that sort of frame where he could guard 1 through 4, and he's smart. He's going to go play with the best player on the planet. I think he's going to get all kinds of open shots. Jay Crowder has also got one of the cheapest deals, one of the worst contracts in the league. He's getting like $7 million for the next 3 years, and he should fire his agent. He should be clearing 20, what some people are making every year. I mean, like,
yeah. Based on what players are getting now, market rates and that.
Then Contagious Caldwell-Pope at $18 million to play for the Lakers. When's he been in the playoffs? So when's he made a difference to the team? When's he made a winning play? I don't know, I'm talking a little bit of smack about KCP. He's a good player, and I think the Lakers did a good thing picking him up. But again, he doesn't matter long term for that team. He's a moving part. So
for sure, for sure.
But
he's never been a fat.
The Nets pick.
But like you said, the Nets pick. The Nets pick.
I heard
today
that they're thinking of moving that. There's Boogie.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
I would trade in an instant Boogie for the Nets pick and Kevin Love and someone else. Would you do the Nets pick, Kevin Love, and Jay Crowder for DeMarcus Cousins?
Ooh. Let me think. Okay. Kevin Love, Jay Crowder, and the Nets pick. If I was the Pelicans, if I was the Pelicans, I think I'd do that. You know.
Oh yeah, I would do that because he's walking. You don't want him on your team. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
He and exactly do the same thing. So it's not like with Chris Paul and James Harden, where they can have the ball at different times on different sides of the floor, like have 40 square feet of real estate to play with. Like DeMarcus and Anthony both need the ball on the elbows, so they need to be the sole big on a team of shooters.
The only difference though is that with Boogie, he actually plays inside beneath the rim.
Yeah.
You know, like he's actually got those little post moves. Anthony Davis don't really have that. His frame is still a bit, wiry, elbow, or stay around, which is great. Like, he can shoot threes and all of that as well. Little mid-range ones and stuff like that, and obviously he'll jam on anybody. But that's the only difference. That little toughness, like really down low, and the little post moves. But I see what you're saying. When you got two bigs, it's quite a job. You need to be quite a coach to incorporate twin towers like that.
Yeah, it was just the problem because it's not like back in the day where you could have Tim Duncan and David Robinson and both just play in the middle of the floor. Like, just both stand on one post each, basically, or play that to the short corner. Like, you can't do that anymore because the defenses are just too good. Like, people know how to double team right and scatter around and make sure there's no kick out for threes, nothing. So, but to have one of them down low and one of them out on the three makes you think that other great talent is rebounding. So immediately, if you play them both, one of them can't do one of the things they're best at. So which is an incredible shame. Which is why you got to trade one of them. And I mean,
if oh my days, but listen, if that happens, yeah, if Boogie ends up on the Cavs, oh my gosh, seriously,
he's the only other moving part that's still out there.
that's a must.
Because they're not going to get. There was a rumor about Melo going to Cleveland. I don't think that can't happen.
No, because they don't want to give up. They don't want to give up Kevin Love to make that happen. So it's not going to happen.
No, I mean, again, I think I probably would do it because Kevin Love is I mean, he was the third best player on a championship team, and he contributed. You know, he had the start on Steph when they won the finals, and he's got that moment forever, and no one could take that ring away from him. But he's
I think it's a bit overhyped.
He's good stats, bad team type player.
Yeah.
I would think in a heartbeat. Would you do Melo for Kevin Love and the Brooklyn pick?
And who?
And the Brooklyn pick.
Oh, okay. What?
I think the Knicks would have to in a heartbeat.
I'll trade for Hoodie Melo.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks would do it. The Cavs would never do it, but because Melo's not going to stay, he's too old. Melo is what he is. I mean, he's again like third. He needs to go somewhere and be the third best player on the team, which is why he should go to the Rockets and play with one of his best friends in CP and just fade out to the corner, to set some screen and roll, take the shots at the end of quarters, not the end of the fourth, and then he'll be happy. I mean, I say happy. No one's really happy in Houston right now. Press to everyone in Houston what was flooding. Well done to James Harden for taking care of people out there and donating so much as he did to the relief fund. But I mean, that's the thing. Through all these big moves, Kyrie, Paul George, Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, that's a sneaky one. The Timberwolves might finally be a playoff team. It's taken them best part of 15 years, but they might finally be a playoff team.
But don't forget, don't laugh either. Cavs got Derrick Rose.
Ooh.
For like a packet of Skittles, yeah.
Yeah.
And a Walker's Crisp.
You want to know something? The 3-point guards, Derrick Rose, Kyrie, and Isaiah Thomas are the 3 worst defensive starting point guards. I know they exist on the 2 best teams in the East. That's utterly ridiculous. And here's the other thing with the Cavs, though. If IT isn't ready to start on opening night, D Rose has to start, and he's still got a little bit left in the tank. He'll never be MVP Rose, but he can go and get 16 and 6 and be the third best player.
Yeah, no doubt.
But when IT comes back, does he start? Or is he
does.
Yeah, you think they can just take D Rose out? And I think Tyronn Lue would pull some shit and say, "Nah, you can be our 6th man, but go win 6th man over here." I think Tyronn Lue is one of the worst coaches in the NBA.
When IT comes back, he needs to start. I mean, D Rose, he's been getting quite a lot of flack. Some deserved, some not. I think people have been kind of a bit down on him more than they probably should have in the last year in terms of his actual play.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when Isaiah Thomas comes back, there's no discussion for me that he's starting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think he should. I just don't know if he will. I think I don't know, because it doesn't. Well, I say it isn't really up to Tyronn Lue, it's up to the Bron. So, he's coach, general manager, and like everything else on that team. So, and fine, he's a better coach than Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue is lucky to be LeBron James' good friend. That's it. I mean, I can't do what he does, but I think there are other people who would be better head coaches than him.
Oh, of course.
Maybe not better
head
coach than LeBron James.
Yeah. Well,
David Blatt was a better coach than Tyronn Lue.
I think
But
LeBron James, to really be coached, needs one of them Hall of Fame type coaches.
yeah.
Trust me, who listened? Or who listened to Pop? Trust me, LeBron James would listen to Popovich.
Yeah, but he'll never go to San Antonio. He's going to finish his career on the west, in LA. It's going to be either the Lakers or the Clippers, and he's going to, you know, make millions and all that stuff. He's probably he's a bit jealous of guys in San Francisco investing in all these interesting tech companies and making billions. And like Andre Iguodala's got his own TV show and like all kinds of stuff. Andre Iguodala stole one of LeBron's final MVPs. He must be so pissed. So yeah, I mean that's happening in a while. But it's so I love it when the best teams are involved in the biggest trades. This just means we might end up with the same sort of teams in the playoffs next year, but it's going to be an entirely different war. And I cannot wait for the league to start. Opening night is going to be amazing.
Yeah, no doubt. And don't forget Jamal Crawford.
Well, he's Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 man, get you 15 points on. You either get you 15 points on 5 shots or 15 points on 15 shots. Right. So I think he's all right. He's not going to play more than 20 minutes a game.
Oh, definitely. He's going to come off the bench. But I mean,
yeah. Tibbs won't play him if he doesn't play some defense. Like he'll rip him out. Tibbs doesn't care. But I think the Timberwolves also went and got Taj Gibson. They went and got Jeff Teague.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good lineup. Jeff Teague. I mean, who do you put at 2? Jimmy Butler, is he a 2 or a 3? They'll put Wiggins at the 2, Butler at the 3. They put Gibson at the 4 and Cat at the 5, and just run riot. That team should be a playoff team.
Yeah, that's a good team right there.
They say every year that we want to be a playoff team, it's playoff or bust. Yeah, there's no excuse. We've got one of the 5 best full forwards. We've got a young, up-and-coming 2 guard who can go get you points. He maybe can't do much else, but he can go get you points. And if you ever actually listen to Thibodeau, he could be a great defender, Andrew Wiggins. And he's lucky again that he doesn't have to be the second best player or the best player on the team. He can go be the 3rd best player. When he's got an off night, Jeff Teague can have a good night. And Karl Anthony Towns his goal should be to be the best big man in the West. That's it. But he should take no shit from anyone he plays against. He's trying to go and score 25 on everyone. When he plays the best players, got 40 on them. He should put his mark on the league. I mean, if you look back on his draft, he's great, and the other young players coming up right now. Would you rather have him or Devin Booker? Would you rather have? There are so many great young players, and the fact that you could even ask that question should piss Karl Anthony Towns off.
That's true.
Yeah, he should be Tim Duncan with a 3-point shot. Yeah, he could be Hakeem with a 3-point shot. That should be his ambition. I'm really offended that Kobe didn't set him a Mamba challenge. The NBA, go.
Yeah, Kobe was sending out the Mamba challenges.
Did he say Isaiah? Did he say to Isaiah, make the first team? Well, that's not happening.
Oh no, that's not going to happen.
When he told Giannis to win MVP, maybe. I mean, well, that's like MVPs and stuff we can talk about in another chat in a couple of weeks' time. But I mean, I think for the most part we covered all the important trades. And the other big signing, well, we talked about Hayward a bit, like second best player on maybe the best team in the East. Great pickup. I really like Hayward's game. Every year he's gotten better, and now he's got his college coach. So, and he doesn't have to be Batman, and he's not Batman.
No.
I wonder when he signed.
Hayward ain't gonna be Batman, no, too.
But the other one, which I'm really excited about because I love the team, Paul Millsap to the Nuggets. He got paid, but he could have got paid a lot more somewhere else. Like he went to play with Jokic and who else they had? Gary Harris, um, Malik Beasley, Reed, and Emmanuel Mudiay, who's people were saying a few years ago. It's been a few years now. Emmanuel Mudiay could one day be like John Wall. I don't see it. He doesn't have that fire in him. Yeah.
He hasn't really blossomed yet, and the yet is kind of running out.
Yeah, there's a statute of limitations on this, and it's when his rookie deal runs out, which I think was this year. So it's make or break for him, but he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's going to take up the mantle and run with it, because he's the starting point guard of an NBA team, but there are bench guys who have played better than him, and that you shouldn't be happy with that situation. And you're a professional basketball player, get paid millions to train and be a good basketball player. You should go and work on the game a lot more and get a better jump shot and don't turn the ball over so much. And he's a big dude. He should be a better defender. Especially when you play in the Mile High City, you should be able to run every other point guard coming into town absolutely ragged. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, and he's made no difference to that team in the years he's played with. Trade Emmanuel Mudiay out for a slightly below average point guard from anywhere else. They would do better. They might as well. I mean, I think they should just start Jameer Nelson or give the ball to Jamal Murray and let Murray play sort of scoring point and just play off. Or no point guard, just give it to Jokic in the middle and let him do what he wants.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's what I'm saying. The system they play guard anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm saying with that whole corner offense that they play and using that little holder and height around him and run into the corners and stuff and hit threes, their system offers the elbow, whether they're going on left side or right side. They've got so many plays that don't really need an out-and-out point guard. Because when they're guards, I mean, normally they come down, they've got a guard, and then they've normally got another forward or slash a big, quote-unquote, big trailing as well, who can hit threes. You don't need an out-and-out point guard to run that system.
No, not at all. I mean, they should just get more shooters and young athletic kids who can, because you play in Denver, you should have that George Karl mentality of, we're just going to run all night, every night, until the other team starts throwing up in the bins at the start of the fourth quarter. No one should have any business. That's the only reason, really, that. But imagine that team that Melo had with George Karl, with J.R. Smith and Ty Lawson and Nene. If you take that team out of Denver and play them in somewhere that isn't a mile above sea level, I don't know if that team is as good at all. And they barely went up and down. So. Because Melo ain't that kind of player, and he never was. But it's interesting. Talking about other teams in that division, and sort of comes back to what we were saying about Euro basketball. I think one of the last guys who could be a difference maker for a team that was in the playoffs last year could be a difference maker. The big could be, and they may not be a playoff team anymore. But he started his career in Spain. Ricky Rubio went to Utah for nothing, for a pick, or for money, that's it. Yeah. I've always had a soft spot for Ricky Rubio. I love pass first point guards who like to play defense and can occasionally make a jump shot, just occasionally. But losing Hayward, who knows? They out of the running entirely in the last.
You know what? Another move that I find real interesting as well is Teodosic. People shouldn't sleep on him,
Teodosic.
Listen, don't sleep on Teodosic. He is fire. Watch what happens. I think
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be real fun.
Search YouTube clips for Teodosic. It's incredible. You should get excited. That he can pass like no one else. And I mean, it's not like EuroLeague can make a good player look great. The Euro teams know how to defend really well. They run a really smart team system in most Euro teams. So if he's picking them apart, he could do the same to a raggedy team from the States. He could Teodosic will be the Clippers start. No, I don't know if he will start. Actually, Beverly will start. Maybe he'll earn the spot. I don't know how Doc feels about him long term, but he's not super young anyway, is he? He's like 30. So
yeah, but trust me, I think because probably a lot of people that watch NBA, they probably don't even know about Teodosic like that, and they're going to be pleasantly surprised. I mean, they're going to see, like, trust me, this guy is fire. If you want to see, I mean, we're yet to see, the fullness of Lonzo and all of that. But I think in the immediate, you're going to see more showtime with the Clippers than you're going to see with Lakers.
Absolutely.
In the immediate.
Oh, absolutely will. And Teodosic, there's the thing about him, if watching his stuff on YouTube, all sorts of YouTube mixes about his passing, he's the kind of player that made me want to get up out of my chair and go play. Like, try and throw those passes and all that kind of stuff. And I don't feel that way watching Lonzo. I feel that way watching Rubio. I mean, I'm talking from a bit biased because I play point, but I mean, I'm sure big men want to play like Blake Griffin when they watch his highlights. I mean, I'm not a Blake Griffin fan at all. So, but that team is good. I mean, they should play. I mean, if Patrick Beverly is their starting guard, then really Blake Griffin is their point guard. Blake Griffin could average the most assists in that team.
I don't like the sound of that.
I don't like the sound of it either, but it's not inconceivable that he averages five and a half assists a game, and everyone else gets like 3 or 4. And like maybe they play really well balanced, because it's not like they don't have a Rondo, they don't have a Chris Paul, they don't have a point guard who's going to move the ball around, except Teodosic. But I don't know how many minutes he's going to get. And Beverly is a short 2 guard, so he has that sort of mentality. He's never had to be the pass first player on a team. He's never had to be the floor general.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. Well, you think it's gonna? I mean, it's more or less a foregone conclusion that Wade is out of Chicago. So you think you think he's just gonna team up with Bron? Yeah.
I don't know. If you're, I mean, he should. He'd fit in straight away. He'd be immediately the second best player on that team until Isaiah Thomas comes back. He's better. Even now, he's better than Kevin Love. Like, different positions and stuff, but at his age, with his knees, he's still a better player than Kevin Love. And I mean, he was right. Wade was,
especially at crunch time. Don't play.
I want D Wade on my team. Like, D Wade is a proven champion, and he's done it by himself. Like, he was the guy on the champion team, and he was the second best guy on 2 other ones. So, I mean, equally, if you're Wade, maybe you passed it, but if you're Wade, do you want to go down in your career as, oh, well, LeBron helped me get to, or like 2/3 of my rings, maybe 3/4 if they win this year. I mean, Wade's got 1, but even then he had Shaq. So Wade's in the competition.
Yeah, but although, I mean, okay, yeah, he did have Shaq.
And the rest.
But what Shaq was that? I mean, Shaq was still Shaq, but that weren't like Shaq from LA. And in those finals, Wade was
14 Shaq, no.
Yeah, Wade was incredible. So you can't even act like, okay, he was just chilling, like he was some sort of rookie or something, and then he had Shaq.
That's what impressed me most, because LeBron Wade had to take a long time before he made any sort of noise in the playoffs. Wade, in his 3rd year, won a chip, and came down from a bad position in the finals and was clutch. So all time, no matter what people say about the refs helping get to the line a lot, he had to get to the line and he had to step out and make those free throws. The refs aren't taking them for him. He stepped to the line and he drained them night after night after night, through his body, and you knew it hurt him long term. He ruined his shoulder, ruined his knee, ruined his hip. So I've got a lot of respect for D Wade. He's the guy that everyone plays basketball. So I've got nothing but love for him. But yeah, he ends up in Cleveland for a season. LeBron leaves, Wade leaves. Maybe Wade retires. Who knows? Maybe Wade skirts around and plays as like the old timey, the wizened warrior for. Maybe in 2 years he goes to the Spurs. Maybe after that he goes and helps out the Rockets. Maybe he plays for the Lakers or the Clippers. Who knows? But he he's got stuff left in the tank, and he was annoyed this offseason. People were saying, "Oh, he gets overpaid. He's too old." But he's pointing out his stats and goes, 18, 6 and 4. That's at my age. Pay me $20 million a year, and I'm happy. And I was annoyed when he left Miami for essentially $7 million, like in excess salary. Because here's the thing with me: you do not leave Pat Riley. He could have stayed in Miami and gone down as their best player of all time, and he might still, but no. In my heart of hearts, I've got more time for Udonis Haslem right now. Like, being a warrior with that team. Like,
UD.
Monday morning. Just saying, you retire with the Miami Heat, they will take care of you forever.
Yeah, no doubt. Whoever you are, no, I hear that. You never know. He may just turn up back at Miami for a brief, just for a parade. You know what I mean? For a brief stint.
He's the kind of guy who would be, I want to finish my career where I started. Like, yes, and they would welcome him back with open arms. So.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So, all right, when we next jump on, I mean, normally we do this with more guys and stuff, but we thought, you know what, let's just get this started, kickstart this. When we next jump on, we definitely get stuck into the Eastern Conference first, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about the Warriors later. Like.
Who?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, well, we'll talk about the East. We'll talk about, well, maybe the next one we'll talk about like maybe not the top teams, but like those middle of the pack teams, those really interesting teams with the young players who can make all the noise in the world. And I mean, as much as I love watching like the Warriors beat down on teams on League Pass, I'm gonna go watch the Sixers. I'm gonna watch the Bucks, like those middle of the road teams. So by saying next time I'll probably talk about those, and then talk about your Cavs and your Celtics, and to go a bit more in depth with those rosters, really chop it up.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll do a proper in-depth thing. We'll probably get a couple more guys on from the group and just, really see what's really cracking. Because to be fair, when you go to the top of either conference, we know what time it is. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
East or West, we know what time it is.
Exactly, but in the middle, that's where the fun storylines are going to be. Right. I love my favorite teams are going to be those fighting for the 8th and 7th spot. Right. I've got a lot of time for like the Trailblazers of the last couple of years. It pains me when I don't see like the Nuggets make it, or the Grizzlies just miss out. The teams that fight for it all, and those are the teams that. I mean, also there are more of them. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's just more to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right, cool. But yeah, let's wrap this one up.
Wrap it. Cool, man. Well, we'll sort this out maybe same time next week. Maybe sooner, maybe a little bit after that. But we'll do some of the regular cover East and West, and then maybe talk your MVPs, your rookies.
Yeah, rookie of the year and all of that.
There's a lot of potential. Yeah, it's going to be LeBron, Giannis. Who knows? I think it's going to be a really great year of the NBA action. We all sort of knew what was going to happen last year.
Yeah, exactly. Last year, I mean, once it got to a certain point, I just took time off. I said, okay, I'm done with this until the playoffs.
Exactly.
And then when the playoffs came about, I mean, I was entertained for a round, maybe. And as for what's the point, I went to the finals, and it was what it was. So, I think the nail in the coffin, just before we go, for me in the playoffs, I mean, I was watching the playoffs in and out, but quite consistently. But as soon as I saw Kawhi, watching that game live, as soon as I saw Kawhi go down, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I remember watching the highlights and I thought, Zaza, you bastard. It's not right. I mean, what Zaza did was dirty, and I can never forgive him for it. But, I mean, yeah, when Kawhi went down, because they could have won. Spurs could have won. And we'll never know. We'll never know.
To be fair, we will never know. To be fair, I mean, you never know how things go and how, You know, the rhythm of the game swings and stuff. But over 7 games, I still think Golden State were going to win that. But I think it would have at least given me something to be really interested in, and I would have been intrigued at least for three games out of the series. I would have been intrigued.
The Warriors win that series 7 times out of 10. But that's enough margin to make you really think, oh, should I put some money on this?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got Kawhi and he can do everything. Right.
It is what it is. All right, cool, man. Well, yeah, we catch up maybe, like you said, maybe same time next week, maybe on the weekend or stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll put it out to some of the other guys, and then we get not too many. I like keeping it small, but maybe get a couple guys on, and then we just go at it. You know, that's when it gets really interesting, because we'll get all like, now we're just kind of just chopping it up in general, talk about trades and stuff. But once we sort of get into where we think teams are going to finish and predictions and rosters and stuff, that's when it's going to get real interesting.
Damn right. So no, I cannot wait for this season. But finally, it's not going to be like last season or the season before. There's a real chance that neither team makes it to the finals that made it last year. There's a real chance. It's slim for the Warriors. Like they've got a better chance than anything else, but it's going to be interesting.
Like, yeah. So what? Rockets and Celtics. Yeah. All right. Cool. We say that for next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. See you later, man. Yeah. Peace.